Hey everyone, I thought it's time for us to talk about drama again. Now we're going to do this a little differently. I'm just going to basically brush it all on the surface level stuff and not really go into a more deep dive of it. If you do wish to explain more about like the situations that I talk about, or at least give more of a deeper dive into it, or if there's something I do get wrong in these explanations and you want to explain it, comment down below, of course. But anyways, let's get underway. Mr. Beast has released or made a post talking about releasing a brand new AI tool, as he has a new company called, or he's part of a company now called ViewStats, or that he made, which is basically another social blade which you can use to basically look up your own stats and stuff. And I think it's pretty cool. But he's also introducing a brand new tool called which is basically just an AI thumbnail stuff. And by the video he deleted now, it does not look good. It basically gives you the ability to basically create any AI based off of any YouTuber's work. That includes the artwork that they commission from artists, so that has an issue. But also that you can also do face swap. And look, I don't know why, but Jimmy just makes it sound like it's a cool feature and stuff, and that it'll help YouTubers and stuff. This is for using face swap or deepfake shit. I'm just saying. Now, his reasonings for doing this are obviously, or as he stated, was to help out smaller creators like me or anyone else to have a level playing field for both creators who have an entire group of folks who work on thumbnails and stuff and artwork or editing and stuff like that. And look, Jimmy, I can understand what you're trying to do, and I honestly appreciate it, but I do believe, as a small creator, that this really doesn't help the platform. And if anything, you're just giving tools to the bad actors of the community, of the YouTube community, who only just work on making slop for the sake of just making money. Which, yeah, no, I do think that's honestly like not a good thing. Funny enough, like a few days ago, apparently like it was reported that the most watched YouTube video, or I think short, was like a fucking AI video, which is just an AI video of like a dog basically saving a baby through a bunch of AI generated prompts. But yeah, no, Jimmy has actually came out and made some statements talking about the community, saying like he is planning on reworking the whole situation and making the program much more of a tool to help artists and not replace them entirely, which honestly is a good thing that he's taking accountability of that. And he even took some ideas from Mudahar, saying that there should also be a system on ViewStats where you can contact the artist or the makers of the artwork that's been made already and ask them for helping with commissions. The same with editors, which honestly, it sounds like a great idea. I think YouTube, if we could turn ViewStats into a sort of like networking way so that we can network with artists and they can network with creators, that way we can get a good system going so that it's easier to make more content made with human hands stuff. I honestly think it's a great idea. And honestly, yeah. But I guess to talk about AI, I've talked about it a few times, I think. Maybe not enough. But my stance on AI is simple. We can't get rid of AI, but the best we can do with it is help live alongside it. I believe AI should not be the machine. It should be another tool in the human machine. Weird metaphor aside, but I do think it can help artists with learning how to become better artists and pretty much stuff like that. Basically, imagine you're trying to draw a circle. You're having issues with that. Ask AI to look up inspirations for how to make a circle. And I don't mean like, oh, look up other artists' artwork. I mean like help generate like prompts based off of like guidebooks and stuff like that help explain artwork and stuff. Honestly, stuff like that could help artists, and I think even help like people in like a teaching degree, help get the message through more clear on how to make better artwork and improve better. And I think it could go well for other majors people want to aspire to be. So honestly, AI could be helpful. The problem is it's just a bunch of bad actors really like to think that, oh, we should replace people entirely. And why? Because all of them are on a political spectrum, or they're furries, or whatever the fuck it is, trans, gay, whatever the fuck. Black. Next up on the list, the Ludwig situation. So Ludwig, this one I'm not going to get into that much because I think it's already been explained well enough. Ludwig hosted an event, I don't know what it's called, maybe it's called the Mogul event or something like that, and one of the participants of that event, Mango, known for being a Smash Bros. Melee pro, got banned from it because he was acting very inappropriate towards the other female streamers, and mainly due to him being drunk and stuff. It was mostly just a bunch of dry humping and other inappropriate acts, but mostly just dry humping. Anyways, after that, basically Ludwig talked to him and basically told him, yeah, no, you're not allowed back. And Mango went on to make an apology, apologizing for, his acts and everything. And he's also tried to contact the creators and apologize for that. And he's also sorry to his own son, which, yeah, no, that's the only time I found out that the guy has a son, which is, yeah, that's devastating to hear, man. Here's hoping that he does make things better, although for some reason his apology, he did go a little bit further. I feel like he told off too much information by going and explaining, like, oh, he wanted to take his grandma to see the Pope before he died, but he never did it because of drinking, which, I get it. He's trying to explain his whole problem with alcohol and that alcohol is bad and stuff like that, and you shouldn't let it take advantage of you. I understand, but I just feel like that's a little too much information. But hey, I'm not going to write your apologies, so hey, you do what you want to do. But overall, I mean, he does seem pretty apologetic, and yeah, I mean, there's not much more we can say about it. I mean, if you do something while you're drunk, you shouldn't really blame alcohol as an excuse. Otherwise, a lot of more people would get away with that kind of shit, which is the reason why drunk driving is a law. So honestly, yeah, be careful when you drink, folks. I should also mention that Mango's wife also did make a tweet basically going after Ludwig, basically telling him that, oh, fuck you, why didn't you look after my husband and stuff when he was, taking shots? You asked him to take shots and stuff like that. And which, I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, it might have been a bad idea to Ludwig to ask him to take shots, but I mean, like, it's kind of known, or at least from what I'm gathering, that he has an alcohol problem. So why would you, not, talk to your husband to, stop him from going, letting him know that it might not end well for him or something like that, instead of just, blaming Ludwig after the fact, because this is, after the fact. It's not like we can change anything about it. Alright, what's done is done, and, at the end of the day, it's technically his actions. Just wanted to bring that up. Alright, last thing to talk about. Pirate Software and the Stop Killing Games movement. So, if you ever heard of Stop Killing Games, basically, their movement is simple. You have a video game that requires online stuff. Well, with the Stop Killing Games movement, you could turn that game and make sure that it has... Okay, well, not exactly all previous games. The idea is to set a new statement that any new games that are live service and stuff will be part of a plan set, in which the plan is to add some endgame content. That way the game can still be playable and still be usable in the future once the servers for that game get shut down and stuff like that. So say, I don't know, Splatoon, you could have the ability to basically still host servers for it after it's been shut down and stuff. I mean, we kind of have that kind of stuff already with Pretendo, but basically it's a good example. And the movement is still up. The submissions do end on July 31st. So if you are a UK citizen, I do highly recommend you do this. It's a great way to show your support that you want video games to stay in a functionable state so that, when you buy a video game, you can play the video game. But overall, the petitions at the moment are almost 25k on the government and Parliament, UK government, and as for the European Union sign up, it's halfway through, but there's only they need 500k more signatures, so there might be a chance that this might not go through. But that doesn't mean that it could be the end, of course. Of course, you could always make more statements and stuff and voice your complaints to the developers. Reasonably, of course, don't sound like an annoying person trying to do it. Honestly, be respectful and constrained, even though these are the same companies who, like Ubisoft, okay, let's just Ubisoft, who say fucking famous things like, you don't own anything, so get used to it. I bought Far Cry 6 from you guys. Pirate Software, a ex-Blizzard developer, did go on making 2 videos 10 months ago talking about how the Stop Killing Games movement should not be supported and stuff, because for some reason the guy got it confused, thinking that, oh, We're asking to make all single-player online make all multiplayer games have a single-player option, which that's not the point of the movement. It was more so to, have future games have endgame content planned for once their servers are pulled. It's not like again, it's impossible to go back to all previous games and give them single-player content, or have them set up for a single-player adventure and stuff like that. It's impossible to do that. The point of it is to make it so that any future games, or people who are developing future games, can have a narrative established that, people want to continue playing this game even after we stop giving it support, and make it so that people can still give support to so that people can still buy these video games in the long future and still enjoy them, despite not having support anymore. And I will admit, Accursed Farms, or Ross, I guess is his name, he did go on basically to debunk Pirate Software's videos on the movement for Stop Killing Games, and I will admit it did spark retaliation from the guy. He has made a few tweets on it. So his tweet's very fucking long, and I'm not gonna spend the entire video just reading it entirely, but I'll just read the parts that are him recapping shit. To recap, my main issue with the initiative is that it is broad in its approach to change the industry and the exact language of the initiative, and not the FAQ requests that all games stay in a functionable, playable state. This is not feasible for all games on a technical level, and could possibly restrict developers from making online-only games like MOBAs and MMOs and MOBAs, and user-generated content games in the future. The list does not exhaust. It doesn't. That list is not exhaustive, and it doesn't matter to you It doesn't matter to you if you do or don't like those games. Effectively, this has the kind of potential to restrict future developers from making kick-ass experiences because it locks the weight on their designs. Even though this is an initiative that can change the future. This is an initiative that can change in the future. This goal is core to the mission and deeply disruptive, so it needs to be called out. To clear up this information about my character. Yeah, no. Okay, yeah, no, that's where it kind of ends. But yeah, no, I understand that, you can't make it possible to ask all games to basically add endgame states. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of the games that have already been long gone. I don't think developers are going to really be moved by 1,000 signatures. But I do think that it's important that stuff like this does get petitioned and signed. That way it could drive a message to other people to plan in some kind of endgame content, to feel more consumer friendly. That way, people can still enjoy said video games once they're long gone. So honestly, whether or not, he's telling the truth about that whole part where it says all games must stay in a functional, playable state, is true or not, even if it is true, I doubt most developers are going to go back and actually go and change it, let's be honest. But at least it gives them a message that, we want these games, these online service games, to have, functionable, playable states after, you stop giving it support and all that. Give them the message that, okay, we will work on this. We're working on a brand new game that's online and everything, but we should also have some plans for it once we're done and we're ready to wrap everything up. All right? Because, when it comes to, most endgame stuff, the developers just kind of just leave it there, and then once the time comes, just pull the servers entirely. I think it'd be better to give these games a good send off. That way people can still enjoy them and stuff. I think a good example would be Marvel Avengers, I guess. I don't know, it's the only one I can think of. While that game is bad and everything, the cosmetics that you had to buy them to an item shop and stuff, which was the most horrible and acidifying thing I ever thought of. Fortnite. But at least they left it in a sort of playable state where now you can buy all the cosmetics and try out whichever one you want. Sure, that's bad for the people that actually bought into the game because now everything's now fucking free, but at least people are still able to go back and enjoy it for some reason if you want to really enjoy Marvel's Avengers. Yeah. I think that's kind of what I want for other games that have online services, to have some kind of end game plan for when, the time comes for them to sign off. That way in the future, when like all of us are like much more older, we can go back to those games and actually enjoy it. Sure, I mean, this is something that fans already do, I'm pretty sure like there are some fans who work hard to keep these games alive, but it would be great if, you know, the official developers themselves could come in as well and help keeping the preservation alive for these games. Honestly, I think it's great to keep them alive. Which is why I fully support the Stop Killing Games movement. And whatever the heck comes up next for Ross and stuff, I don't know. I just hope that this movement doesn't die down and it still stays alive, even though it looks like there might not be a chance that the signatures might not get filled in. So I just thought I'd make one quick more update. It has been reported that Charlie and another YouTuber that I can't remember the name of, fucking helicopter, I swear to God. It was reported that Charlie, another YouTuber who was also critical on Pirate Software, uploaded, or I guess talked to him through DMs on Twitter, and apparently, according to them, it mostly resorted in kind of just roundabout arguments that really led nowhere. And I guess we could talk about Pirate Software's one issue in most of his controversies is that bro has a problem with, like, taking accountability or, like, admitting that he made a mistake. Like, I think I had known about this, like, a while ago from, like, a Nux Taku, like, podcast thing he does now. I know, Nux Taku as my source. Yeah, I know. But, yeah, no, he did go on to say, like, stuff like, oh, bro has a problem with, like, such... Bro just has a huge ego problem, honestly. It's basically just, like, he'll say, like, oh, I'm more correct than you because I'm a game developer. And he does make it sound like in his tweet, or in his other tweet, that, oh... guys, I'm a game developer. You guys just don't get it. And it honestly reminds me a lot of, like, the Sungrant Studios situation. Except, instead of, you know, him reacting and turning to a Christian channel, it's just him doubling down on his whole situation and stuff. So, honestly, bro really needs to, like, get hit with, like, the reality check, honestly. Because this entire movement is only just meant to try and, like, help preserve games and make, you know, games savable in the future, alright? We're not trying to kick down anybody in the industry or, like, ruin other people's chances who want to make games, like, their own way. I mean, go ahead and make games like whatever you want, but if it comes down to, like, live service stuff or online crap, there should be plans to make an end game to have, like, something to keep it preserved for a long time so that, you know, it doesn't go away, or, like, it becomes an unbreakable disc, or discs, or whatever the hell gets wasted for something like that. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Hope everybody enjoyed, and yeah, I hope you all enjoyed.